hello, I'm the normal playing guy, and this video we cover the new Easy A, that is Gotenks, which is summonable ones. It's another 30 stones for your pockets, guys. So let's have a look at what he does. Now, this guy, when he came out, he was incredibly useful. His transformed states were truly great because they had the 70% chance to stun, and of course, they also greatly raised defense, and he was good basically because of that all the way through. A little difficult to transform, and when he did, it wasn't for very long, but it's something. So we will see now what he does, and he has a really good category actually. I'll be able to see what it was between base and this. What was it prior? It was right. So it was special pose and youth. Now the special pose got the full treatment, but youth got a little less. Now youth got the full treatment, defense 170%. So a little short up, and makes it another potential youth category lead. So previously, what did we have? 100% key 1 transforms. We basically double that. We doubled it all basically. 2 key 200% to start of turn. That's nice. What did we have? Coming in at 55%, rather respectable, actually pretty decent, 11,500, 18,000 attack, and actually more defense than the Super Saiyan 3 LR Tech Easy A, which is, that just goes to show how old that unit is. This unit has more health. Ridiculous. Our 50% attack on super attack, your super attack effect. So you now raise attack for the turn. That's nice. You now greatly raise defense for 3 turns. I like that because chances are you will float this guy off because he's better when he's transformed. So this would ensure when he comes around, you still have that buff. That's nice. So you get a 50% chance to dodge flat out, which is also nice. Because he didn't have that prior. So you'd float him off. You put him in slot 3. It'd be like the blue fusions, right? You'd stick him in slot 3, 50% chance to dodge. That's the way you want to put him. Additional chance to dodge plus 10% within the same turn after evading an attack. Well, that's nice, but I mean, in slot 3, if you took a few hits, 50-50, then house odds, then it's a great chance, and then you're talking UI Goku level. So, maybe. An additional 50% defense when performing a super attack for your first turn. Okay, that's nice. So, it is essentially a float off, right? You get double the stats to start off with, so you're buffed everything. You have a 50% chance to dodge, and that scales. And then your first ever super attack gets a further buff. So again, float. There's nothing really much more to say about that, actually. So with this case, we'll just jump straight into the next form, because this is when you'll see him next. Turn 3, okay. So what do we get now? Still 2 key to 50%. Okay, here we go. So this is the majority of the form that people want to see. And this is the form where he starts to become good, because he now it's greatly raised defense for 4 turns, but it's still a 70% chance to stun, while this goes up for multiple turns. So this is where the dude got nice. For 50% attack and a 50-50. Okay, 50% attack, flip a coin for an additional 50% chance for extra attack, and a 30% chance to crit on super attack. Your super attack effect, as we've seen, so you get extra attack with a 50-50 chance of having more attack. It's kind of weird, but sure. 70% chance to launch an additional super attack, of which you greatly raise for 4 turns with a 70% chance to stun. Having that as a 70% chance means that very often you'll be having that. High chance to dodge still, and an additional chance to dodge plus 20% after an evading. Wow, that's actually ridiculous. Yamcha, UI Goku, they all can get 90% dodge. That's insane. 20%. So you dodge one attack and you're up to 70%. You dodge again, and that's not unlikely. You have a 90% dodge rate. When does that stop? Do you do 3 dodges and you're immortal for the turn? Or does it cap at 90? I'd love to see. High chance of recovering 30% HP from the start of the fourth turn. Right, okay. So from the fourth turn onwards, you can enter the turn with a not a small amount of HP back. 50% chance? Okay, okay. So he has somewhat of a sensu being put in. Do you know, that's going to save you because youth and special pose are difficult. Youth Extreme Super Battle Road is very difficult because of the roster. So being able to have the 30% HP, the 50% chance to dodge, the additional super attack, the effects that the super attack does, he is going to be he, he's going to dominate, but not only that, his presence will be felt. Could he carry the team? It's legitimate. He actually could carry the team because he's made to be stronger. So that's nice. We'll just jump straight in because now this one is a little better, I think. Is it actually better? Allow me to see. So this one was 70% or more from the fourth turn, and it's still 70% or more from the fourth turn. So because it's 70% or more, it's a little difficult because in difficult content, i.e., youth ESBR, you weren't over 70%. You just weren't. Not often. All right, well, this looks like we get some pretty good stuff. 3 key 300%, so it's a big improvement over base. You get an additional 100% attack and 50% chance to crit on super attack, and this is now it's basically just the attack's basically guaranteed. Flip a coin for crits. You launch an additional super attack. You greatly raise attack and defense, still with a 70% chance to stun. The fact that he still has this and not in these forms is insane. So that's nice. You get attack as well. That gets buff, not just the defense. 70% chance to dodge. An additional chance plus 20% after you evade. You have 70% chance to dodge. You dodge once, you have 90%. You're immortal. One dodge and you are immortal. And then a guaranteed crit on your first turn. Wow, what a turnaround. He gets better and he is good. Okay, so starts off as a floater, comes back around and arguably he's still a floater. Comes back around here and yeah, no, you might be able to stick him in slot 1 because he just needs one dodge and he's off to the races. With a guaranteed crit in his first turn, greatly stacking for multiple. Each one has chances to stun. Yeah, he's that's a. He's not really a youth anymore, is he? This is like big boy territory. You know, this is interesting. Okay, so let's have a check out of his links. It's going to change a little bit based on which version that we have because we don't have limit breaking form. Signature pose, same warrior, same lineage, innocence, fuse fighter, supreme power, and fierce battle. For the most part, we lose a good chunk of those links because we now have Super Saiyan Golden Warrior. So that's something. And then when we're into this, we then lose some of them as we now have limit breaking 4 and over in a flash. So in this particular form, you might be better off rocking on a Super Saiyan 3, but that would still work on some of the others, right? You could still potentially get some decent links. Now, like Supreme Power, you'll probably be able to get on the Majin Buu saga. You're talking like Vegeto's and Ultimate Gohan. The Innocence would be good on you. Super Saiyan would be good on you, of course. Fierce Battle. So you'll be able to get some decent links. I think the best version of him in terms of versatility would be this one because we have Super Saiyan Golden Warrior as well, which is more common to find. But yes. Actually, before we jump into teams, we'll be able to see actually what his best partners are based on which version we have. So his best partners outside of himself. So we have base Vegito, other Gotenks. It's base form a lot of people like Fuse Fighter, but base. So yeah, so that's kind of the idea. So there's not an impressive amount of people here. So again, float off. This guy comes around and he's much, much better. And then suddenly we start to see a few more people in this. We see much more Super Saiyans. We begin to see some tippy top tier Super Saiyans. Blue Gogeta, LR Gogeta, this LR Gogeta. Hey, Physical Vegito, Margin Buu Saga comes out, right? So again, there's a few more decent people in this. So this will give him the most versatility. And again, there'll be more because some of the others that you had previously based off stuff like Super Saiyan, Fierce Battle, The Innocents, you are going to get that. Best partners in best case situation, we are talking this guy. Not the best EZA in the world, but triggering 6 links on 19 teams. Frickin' hell. 19. That might be the most teams I've ever seen shared. Wow. Okay, you'll struggle to find that one. In this particular form, I'm not entirely sure what's rocking it. It could be the over in the flash, really, but we're talking the Blue Gogeta form in particular, Super Saiyan 4, Blue Fusions come into play. So, yeah, there's a few more options. Oh, and this guy comes into play as well. So there's a few more options that come into play in this. And what we find then is Final Trump is coming into play. And then that connects in with these 4. So Connected Hope and Trusted Will, Heavenly Events. And we're talking like this guy who is on, funny enough, none of them. But Final Trump could come in and Earthbred Fighters. What about you? We have Fuse Fighters Final Trump Time Limit. Yeah, of course. What about you? And then we have Earthbred Connected Hope. Of course, we know one of the other guys is on Connected Hope, the tech version of this guy, basically. So there's something there. So what are the teams that you can run him on? Margin Buu, yeah. Super Saiyan 3, for the most part, yes. Transformation Boost, Final Trump. Earthbred is quite good. You might struggle because of in Super Saiyan 3 form, Saviors. That is a really, really terrible extreme Super Battle Road. It's painful. That could be a nice one. Time Limit, very good. Youth, yes. Arguably Super Saiyans, yes, because of his stun ability. You definitely find him space. Fusion, again. It has extreme Super Battle Road stages, and again, with his ability to stun, you definitely will run him on every single one of these. Rapid Growth, that's a good one. Few Gifted Warriors, Saviors, Earthbred, Time Limit. There's a lot of people on here he will be able to have a lot of solid links with because of his increase in stats and dodge and the ability to stun. He is going to be huge in all of these teams like Saviors. Ugh, that's just... I mean, this one came out on regular Super Battle Road? I can't remember. I can't remember if it's ESBR or just regular. But that came out and it wasn't too bad. You just basically just rock Ginyu. But if you didn't have them and had him, potentially, he's going to be useful. So yeah, a very impressive, very stupendous and broken. If you get this guy, you're nigh on immortal, so long as you get that first dodge, right? Otherwise, it's not. These numbers seem impressive. 250%, 300%. You get greatly raised for several turns with additional super attacks. I mean, it seems impressive, right? But again, I mean, to be fair, no, he still has 11,500 defense, which is that's actually more starting defense, or about the same as Tech LR Super Saiyan 3 Goku. Maybe just a smidge more. And he has a comparable start of turn defense because the LR has 200% at the start of turn, and this guy has, well, also 200 even in his base. So you'll find them to be the same. He's gonna be like Super Vegeta, right? The STR Super Vegeta. You've dialed him up. except he can't take a hit, right? He's very, very powerful. His stun and crits are useful, no doubt, but he can't really take a hit. And this guy's going to be the same. He's going to be able to stun. He's going to be able to heal, right? Which I don't think he has in his other form. Does he actually have that? Let me just double check that. He doesn't. He actually loses that. But he's going to be able to stun. He's going to be able to heal. He's going to be able to exponentially raise this with additionals, which would be how you build, really. And he's just, you're going to be relying on dodge. You get that one dodge, 50% to dodge, and then 10% on top thereafter. Yes, if you don't get them, I'm telling you, Saviour's ESBR is going to tear you to bits. But he's still going to be the most powerful one on Saviour's as well. In fact, we quickly check out Saviour's actually. Yeah, that's the lead. Do you know how you do this? You do this because you rock this guy, who is Super Saiyans. He is a 170 at the least, and you'll be able to rock a somewhat decent team. Like this guy shares a fairly decent partner, and if he crits in the second phase, I believe there is a freezer, so he pretty much crushes the second phase. You have type advantage against Sin in the last phase. You just gotta, if you crit, you'll honestly kind of solo it with just him, and like these two kind of come into their own play, like him, and the physical one in the last phase. They kind of hold their own, so that's great. But that's the only way around. You can still use him on this. If you watch your team, you could rock this guy. You could also rock him and him and him. And again, you'd rock him because he has his stun chance whilst being buffed and has his dodge. So legitimately, Saviours could be, well, he could be the saviour of Saviours. Youth is probably a good all-rounder. Okay, super int, easy A, area, and support. Actually, he's a 60% support, isn't he? So, 3 key, 60% for this guy. That's actually not a bad rotation. I'm not entirely sure what links you get, but you must be able to trigger at least a few. But even if you didn't, the three key 60% of stats is mad. He's going to work with a lot of these people, even just something like Fierce Battle, sure. He's going to have a bigger presence, and he's definitely going to do well here. Special pose. Well, I mean, he's going to work better with Gamma 2 than Gamma 1 because of the Link of the Innocents, making Gamma 2 a more ideal choice. You could potentially rock some units in here, but honestly, Special Pose, while he may lead it, unless you rocked him and then everyone else is Ginyu and then rocked him as the guest, yeah, you're just going to rock Ginyu, aren't you? That, if you could. Now, that would be the idea. But Youth and Saviours and who else? I mean, like, what else would we have? Yeah, that could be good. Let's go back to the other categories. What did we have? We have, stuff like Heavenly Events, Time Limit, a lot of crossover, Rapid Growth crossover, Connected Hope and Trusted Will, a lot of crossover. So yeah. There's a lot to talk about here. Anyway, that's his easy A. He's incredibly impressive. This is immortal, assuming you get the dodge and you're off to your races. So yeah, all around good. I can't wait to stress test him. Should really catch up on these videos, but I'll stress test him and then we'll see how it goes. Well, thank you very much for watching. If you liked him, let me know. And hey, otherwise, have a great time and thank you for watching this video. And if you did and you liked it, brilliant. And if you didn't, well, that sucks to be you. I hope you have terrible summons. But no, thank you anyway. Thank you and bye-bye.